with a tragedy last night in the foothills of Santa Susana Pass, where a private plane crashed with no survivors. CBS 2 has obtained this exclusive video, and we want to remind you now that what you're about to see is graphic, and viewer discretion is advised. Here's what we know. Last night.
The first time I saw Nightcrawler, it left me feeling really, really uncomfortable and had me thinking about it for days. I wondered what the purpose of the film was, if it had any redeemable qualities at all. I wanted to know what it was trying to say. Despite my confused feelings, there was something about the film that really stuck with me, something that made me want to watch it again. A sense of brazen honesty, you could say. Honesty about a corrupted system and how we keep this system going. So there's going to be spoilers in this video. The basic plot of Nightcrawler is about a young man who discovers LA crime journalism. Having a knack for it and not being afraid to be unethical or push boundaries, he eventually makes it to the top. The thing about this film is that there are really no characters in the story to ground us morally. The closest character we get to a decent person is Rick. But even Rick, when given the opportunity to either be moral or receive half of a $50,000 check, he takes the check. I believe that all of the characters in the film represent some sort of flaw in society. Rick represents greed and compromise, for instance. He prioritized a paycheck over the lives of everyone in the restaurant, and the cops Lou set up. Not only is he a passive witness to Lou's crimes, but he even becomes an accessory, getting out of the car and filming the action himself. Next we have Joe Loader, played by Bo Paxton. He's another stringer competing with Lou Bloom to get his footage into the news studios. Aside from being kind of a jerk, he tries to manipulate Lou into joining his team when he realizes that Lou's getting ahead of him. This picture of disingenuousness is what really makes us as an audience hate Joe's character. He tells Lou that there's no way he'd hire him in the beginning and pokes fun at him when he tries to get ahead on his own. Then after all of that, tries to befriend him. Then we have Nina. Nina represents the misuse of power in influential positions. She's a down-on-her-luck news director on the lowest-rated channel who hasn't been at a station for more than 2 years. Her desperation for edgy footage causes her to say yes when Lou threatens to sell somewhere else if she doesn't have sex with him. She knows Lou is doing illegal things, but she doesn't care so long as she is getting shock value and her viewers are tuning in. She participates in twisting truth and perpetuating stereotypes in the media. She says that their station focuses on urban crime, sneaking into the suburbs, and that they focus on victims that are preferably wealthy and white, harmed at the hands of the poor or a minority. This mindset is reinforced later in the film when Nina is trying to bargain Lou's prices down for the footage of a mansion shooting. She offers to pay him the same price she paid for footage of 4 dead people. Lou argues that these were poor Mexican people in a roach coach and that 2 of them were illegal. He goes on to say that she should pay more for the mansion footage because it features 3 wealthy white people. Nina also encourages graphic, violent material, telling Lou to think of their station as a bleeding woman running down the street with her throat cut. She exaggerates headlines and even portrays a drug deal gone wrong as a string of home invasions. She knows that Lou had something to do with Rick's death, but calls the footage he sells her beautiful, and she says she'll give him whatever he wants for it. Second to Lou, Nina is the most vile character in the film. But what is so scary about her is that she is super aware socially. She knows that we live in a corrupt system that values whiteness over minorities and the wealthy above the poor. She knows that the more graphic the content is, the more viewers will tune in. And who are the viewers? Well, the viewers are you and me. The reason Nightcrawler feels so genuine is because it's a mirror of our own society, of our own subconscious biases, obsessions with the violence, and our depraved nature. And that's where Lou comes in. Lou is a product of his environment. I think the very essence of his character lies in a line he says to Rick after he uses leverage to blackmail him. Lou says, "The problem with me isn't that I don't understand people, it's that I don't like them." Lou sees the depraved heart of humanity and of himself, and he accepts it for what it is. He doesn't try and change anything. Instead, he uses the predictability of it all to his advantage. Whenever Lou does something wrong, he gets rewarded within the business. When he moves the body to get a better shot, he gets taken more seriously by news channels. When he goes unwarrantedly inside of the house to get footage of the couple and a shot of the fridge, he's praised for his creativity. When he messes up his rival's car, causing an accident, he again rises to the top. This pattern is continued as he lies to Rick, exaggerating how successful he really is so that he doesn't have to pay him. He enters an active crime scene and withholds information from the police just to keep the case going so he has more to shoot. He waits for the gunman he allowed to escape to go into a more crowded area before calling the police. And lastly, he puts Rick in the path of the gunman just because Rick used his bargaining power against him and might do it again. What's so interesting is how Dan Gilroy uses Lou's first-person perspective to get us on his side. Despite the awful things this character does throughout the film, a part of us wants him to succeed. The way his character fluctuates between a polite, offbeat, hardworking, and clever person into a complete, cringe-inducing psychopath creates this push and pull effect with our emotions. We can empathize with his desires, yet the unethical way he goes about achieving them makes us sick. We can't stand his obliviousness to the social and emotional cues of people around him, yet his bleak, accurate view of humanity and the way he uses this knowledge to manipulate is almost impressive. When we finish watching Nightcrawler, we can't help but be disgusted with Lou. But if we stop to think, we realize that we as a society are at fault. We have created an environment for a person like Lou to thrive in. We present a demand, and people like Lou provide the content. As director Dan Gilroy said in an interview, "I'm hoping people don't walk away and go, oh, this is a movie about a crazy guy. We want them to say, this is a movie about a world that creates somebody like Lou and rewards them." Thanks for watching, you guys. I hope you will check out some of my other videos and subscribe.